In this module, we'll talk about the traits that successful negotiators demonstrate. Because as I work with people out there in the field, on both the buying and the selling side, that's the beauty of what I get to do. I work with buyers of products, I work with buyers of components, I also work with salespeople that sell those products and sell those components. I found that there are some common characteristics of the people that manage to negotiate effectively and efficiently. Because how many of you right now feel like you're being asked to do less with more? Well, we're going to have to walk you through the active listening part too. I said less with more, right? Everybody's world out there is a world of more with less, right? So that's the big challenge. Not just negotiate to where you get a good deal, but negotiate to where you get an appropriate deal with a minimal consumption of resources. And of course, the most important resource in your whole world as a business professional is what? Your time. Your time. Well, there's a lot of talk about time management. There's a lot of focus on time management. Actually, we don't manage time. But we can try and work to control our allocation of time. We've all got a limited number of hours a day. We've all got to work to become more efficient at what we do. And there's traits, like I mentioned, of people that manage to do this and do this well. Number one is confidence. There is no substitute in the negotiation process for confidence. If you don't believe deep down inside that what you're asking for and what you're presenting and what you're proposing is a proper solution for that customer, how in the world are they ever going to believe it? In a practice session one time, we were doing some role play, and we got to the point of asking for the money, and it was a large amount of money. And the person that was supposed to say, and the investment associated with the solution is $550,000, and we found out something in the practice. That person couldn't say it. That person gagged on that number. And if they're gagging on that number, I guarantee you the person they were telling it to is going to be gagging on the number. So you have to have confidence in everything you do. And preparation certainly breeds that confidence. You've got to have comprehensive preparation and practice. Again, there's no substitute for practice. The great thing about selling is you can practice at 6 o'clock in the morning in front of the mirror. Particularly those critical points in the negotiation process. The first time those words come out of your mouth should not be out there in front of your customer. Tenacity is another key characteristic. I don't know whether you've noticed this or not, but teenagers and very small children are very, very good negotiators, right? Have you noticed that? How many of you have noticed that our children do a pretty good job of giving us perspective? How many of you have children? How many of you had parents who had children? I just want to see what I got here. To a teenager, no simply means not yet. Not from dad, maybe from mom. And as parents, if we don't get coordinated, where you say, he asked me, I know he's going to be asking you, they have absolutely no fear of failure. They have no fear of rejection. And yet salespeople are so reluctant to hear the word no. By the way, my first favorite reaction to anything that I propose to a prospect or customer is not immediately, deal. Because as we talked about in Module 1, we don't want to leave that much money on the table. So you stay after it. You never quit. It's amazing how many times people stop contacting a prospect just before that customer was supposed to start to get interested. I know of one CFO that I talked to who said, until you leave me 6 voicemail messages, you don't even exist. So you kind of go from an unheard of entity to an annoyance, to a nuisance, to a stalker, to a strategic alliance partner.